I need to get started on repairing the inner fender wells for the square body. So I'm going to show you what we're working with and then we'll talk about it. So you can see this is where the inner fender bolts to the firewall on the cab. That hole there and that hole there bolts to the fender well. On the inside it's not just a single layer. There's a reinforcement panel on the inside. Drilled out the spot welds. Let me take the C-clamp off and let me show you. So this is the reinforcement. And there's the hole. So what we're going to do here is we're going to fix the hole and we're going to rebuild this reinforcement panel and see if we can get this fender put back together. On this fender is an additional problem. This is the battery box side, and so this is all rusted out too. So we'll have to fix this, but this one actually is a pretty simple repair. We'll come back to that. So let's get started on this one. So you can see I've cut out a piece of sheet metal. It's about the same thickness as what this is. So the idea is to bend it around and get it to the same shape as the inner fender well, and then we'll cut out the bad part, weld in the new part. So I need my workbench, so I'm going to take this off. I'm going to lay it on the ground there, and then we'll start bending this thing. Okay, I think I got this close enough. Keep in mind this is the inner fender. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not doing a a 10-point restoration on this thing. You just need the hole plug. You need it pretty close to the shape, but it's not going to really matter if it's perfect. So in this case, we've got it pretty close. I'm going to use the cutting butt. So if you don't know what that is, you can go to Fitzy's Fabrications and see what he's got going on. Basically, you tack the edges, then you bring in a cutoff wheel, and you hold a cutoff wheel at 45 degrees and cut through it little at a time. So you start at the front, you cut through it. That allows you to push the two pieces together. You tack it, you cut a little more, You push the two pieces together, you tack it, and when you're done, the old sheet metal falls out because you cut through it. If you're interested in that, Fitzy Fabrications, he kind of coined the phrase cut and butt. It's not like it's a new thing. Body guys been doing it for years, but he's kind of made it a household phrase. I'm going to get started on this. I'm going to go ahead and tack this in, and I'll bring you back when I start doing the cutting and trying to get it pushed together. Okay, here we go. So the idea is to hold the grinder at about 45 degrees. Ideally, you don't have a gap, makes it easy to weld. You get a nice, clean, finished product. Let's see what we can do. You notice I didn't cut the whole thing out. What you want to do is to work a little bit at a time all the way around. That way the tack weld holds everything in place, and you can work it around without having a whole lot of things moving around. All right, let me get something to hold that down. I'll get the welder. Let me get that tacked. So I don't know if you could see that or not. So on this corner, the new piece is now level with the surface of the old piece. The old piece is actually cut out on the bottom, and when we get done cutting all this out, the old piece will fall out the I'd show you what's going on the back side. Man, I don't know if you can see that or not. Seems like I got some light issues here. Let's see here. There you go. So you can see what's going on the back side. All right, I'm taking the old piece off as I'm cutting through that. So when you're done, the old piece is off and you got the new piece welded in. It's pretty slick. I'm gonna go ahead and weld this up. I'll get back to you. Okay, there you go. Now, keep in mind, you gotta make 4 of these, right? Remember I took off that inner brace. It's shaped just like this one. In my case, I'm making out an 1/8 inch, so you're not gonna bend it with your hands. That's gonna take a little bit of extra work, but I'm gonna grind this off, and you're always gonna have pinholes in it, so grind it off, you know, dolly it a little bit, make it look like what you want. Go back and weld the pinholes up, grind it again, grind both sides, right, so that it looks good. And then start making the other 3 pieces. I'll bring you back when I got all 4 of them done. Okay guys, I think I'm done with the inner fender wells for the square body. I'll show you what I end up with. Then we'll go out and we'll look at the Honda, and I'll let you kind of give you an update of where we're at on that. Something tells me we're going to need a big hammer to finish that thing up. So here we go. So there's 1, and there's 2. Pretty happy with that. So these are really good patches to practice on. There's a lot of concavity on these panels, so you can put a lot of heat into them and you won't have to really worry about warping. The other thing is that they're really not seen. You don't see the backside of them because it's bolted up next to the cab. The inside is covered with the reinforcement plate. So again, if you're just starting out and you want to practice on something, these are good ones to practice on. They forgive a lot of sins. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.